Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news that while trade tensions are rising, key trade deficits are shrinking. The American trade deficit fell to a 7-month low in April as exports rose to a record high, lifted by an increase in shipments of industrial materials and soybeans. Some of those exports may be the rush before coming tariffs knocked them. Canada's overall trade deficit shrank in April too. And demand for heavy freight trucks in the US is rising at an even faster rate. Some call it astonishing. Trucking companies ordered 35,000 trucks in May, more than double the orders from the same month a year ago. That leaves manufacturers with an order backlog of more than 200,000 trucks, or 8.5 months of production. In Europe, investors sold Eurozone bonds overnight, thereby raising yields, after senior figures at the ECB made remarks preparing the way for an end to their stimulus program, possibly later this year. That leaves Italian bonds looking particularly exposed. In China, new research shows that their property market plays a much bigger role in their economy than officially thought. Officially, the sector accounts for a bit over 6% of their GDP, but this new research shows it actually was more than 12% in 2016. And China has released updated information on 50 fugitives suspected of economic crimes, including their names, photos, and possible current whereabouts. The statement shows that 23 fugitives may have fled to the United States, and that Canada and New Zealand are among the main countries where their fugitives could be possibly hiding. In India, their central bank sees inflation rising, mainly because of the cost of oil. It has raised its inflation forecast and now expects prices to be just under 5% higher this year, and it raised its policy rate by 25 basis points to 6.25%. The Australian economy grew much stronger than expected in the first quarter of 2018, up 3.1% compared with growth of 2.4% in the fourth quarter of last year. Markets were expecting a growth of 2.8%. And the US Treasury 10-year yield has risen today. It's now 2.98%, up 7 basis points on the day. The Chinese 10-year is at 3.69%, up 1 basis point, while the equivalent New Zealand rate is at 2.82%, also up 1%. And gold is a little lower overnight, down $3 to $1,295 an ounce. US oil prices are also lower, now under $65 a barrel, although the Brent benchmark is holding at $75.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar will start today unchanged at 70.3 US cents. On the cross rates, we're a little weaker at 91.8 Aussie cents and 59.8 euro cents. That leaves the TWI at 73.1. And finally today, a special shout out to the economics class at ACG Strathallan. It's nice to have your company in the morning. Mr. Singh's onto it. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.